Hi, everyone. This is Neil Ginsberg from Gorton High School, class of 67. With me today is Trisha Zuckerman, who used to be Pat Kerest. One of the things that I was wondering, what was something like an early memory you have?
Well, one of the best ones had to be when my mother, the first day I went past six, took me to the bus. We went down to the library in downtown Yonkers. Now I realize what a gem of a place that was. And I got a library card and could take home 6 books. And I repeated that that was third grade. I repeated that scenario for the rest of my life in Yonkers, going to the library every 6 weeks. Culled my love of reading, which I still have with me today. I can't be without a book. Makes me nervous to be without a book.
Nice. When we talk about reading, it makes me think of school. Who was a favorite teacher? Or
Without a
two?
doubt, Mademoiselle Gentile, who was my French teacher for all 4 years, but particularly in the fourth year of French when I was a senior. I think there was all girls, all females, and I think there maybe were 10 of us. And she took us all over the place, to New York, to French restaurants. We went to see Gilbert Bécaud, who was a French singer, threw roses on the stage and made Earl Wilson's column, I think, in the Post or whatever. And my father, he referenced it, but he didn't know who we were. And my father contacted him, and the next day he said these were lovely mademoiselles were from Gorton High School. So,
Uh,
and in Miss Gentile, just very unexpectedly, I hadn't been in touch with her, turned up 40 years later at my mother's funeral in Westchester. Where I didn't live there anymore, so I reconnected with her. So yes, that, and also Mrs. Schwartz. I have to mention Mrs. Schwartz, who single-handedly dragged me through trig and got me to pass that ridiculous regions. I always knew I would never need geometry and trig in my life, and I was proved correct.
Although you might use it for golf, but that's another story.
Well, not really.
You also probably had some other experiences in high school that maybe helped shape who you are. Could you remember anything else as far as
My thoughts of high school was I wasn't in the most popular group. I wasn't, I wasn't a great student. I was sort of like middle of the road. I was on the periphery of a lot of things. I was in the musicals, but always support role. I was in the newspaper.
with the newspaper, did you do anything that was
Yes,
special?
that was a big thing because the newspaper really led me to a world view because we went to the Columbia press conference at Columbia,
Excellent.
and which was really a reason to just get a few days off from school and roam all over New York City. But in 66, 65, 67, of course, the Vietnam protests were going on, and Columbia, which ultimately my husband went to, I didn't, and he graduated in 67, which was the year of the bust. So there was a lot of political Vietnam protesters on the quad there. I remember the first year arguing with them for the Vietnam War, but by the end I was beginning to think, maybe this is not such a good idea. I grew up with parents who were Eisenhower Republicans, just steer the course, or stay the course. And then, of course, so I think it really opened my eyes to there was a different way of thinking here.
Nice. Now, you mentioned that there was this guy named Russell who you ended up marrying, and that happened pretty quickly after you graduated.
Yes. After my freshman year of college, I came home and needed a job, and my father said, there's this restaurant opened up the steak pub on Central Avenue. You're as Klein's was, and they said they have a big sign out. You'll make a lot of money. And I did. I got a job as a waitress, and my husband Russell was also working there. And we worked nights.
And that led to a 42-year romance?
Yes, 42 years. We married the following summer, August of 69. And
when I was at Woodstock, you got married.
Yes. We got married in the summer of 69. We're married for 42 wonderful years, had 3 children. And we It really was. It was the best decision I made in my life. He was the most important person in my life. He wasn't my best friend. I know a lot of people say, but he was my everything, and I hope I was his everything.
I'm sure you were.
And we were together until he died in 2011.
Now, you told me that he had gotten sick
He
and
was, yes, he was diagnosed with non-Hodgkin's lymphoma and lived for almost 5 years from his diagnosis.
during that 5-year period, did you change your life at all?
Oh my goodness, yes. Very quickly, we decided to retire. I was a teacher for 32 years in Rochester. I retired. He was a lawyer. We got out of Dodge, sold our house, everything in it. And in 2008, we traveled for a year all over America and Canada, trip of a lifetime. It was something we always wanted to do. We had done it for like 6 weeks in 1971 after we
Right.
was done with law school. Yes, and then part of that was renting here in Fort Myers at the over 55 golfing community that we live in, made a decision to settle here. So yes, we did. And we sold, as I said, we left with 70 boxes and that was it. Started all over again. Best thing we ever did.
Um, when I listen to you, certain things just pop out. How do you describe yourself?
Energetic, outgoing, good friend, like to have fun.
It comes through. I hope it comes through for everybody else as well. So Russell dies in 2011,
Right.
and you guys had a group of friends.
Yes.
And
Well, we had
then-
only lived here a little over a year, but when you live in a community like this, you're like the new people on the block. Everyone, they're a little bored with everybody
Right.
else, so they want to, yes. But yes, basically, I was couple. We made friends with
And
couples.
did that change? Did that change
Yes,
after?
yes. I very quickly realized after his death that I've always, from the time I was small, knew the importance of strong women friends and how they get you through. My really good friends, of course, were in Rochester, New York, where we live, but I did not want to go back there. And there weren't very many single women here. But within 3 years, I mean, unfortunately, more people
Right.
lost their spouses, but I found people. And now I have a huge circle of single women friends. Sometimes, married women friends come in because they think we're having a good time.
There's a
I really
fear
had,
of them missing out.
well, yeah, I have that. I have FOMO. I absolutely, at this pandemic, was dragged off this travel social treadmill because I have traveled since his death, traveled extensively all over the world. But you know what I've discovered? I'm happy here. I don't know. I haven't been on a plane in over a year. Usually I fly and I'm on like 30 planes a year. And for someone who doesn't like to fly, that's, I don't think I need to get on another plane, although I will have to, but I miss my children. That's the only negative of this, but no.
Talk about your children a little bit. How many children do you have? Where do they live?
I have a daughter who lives married with my in Manhattan, who has my Isabel, who's 11, and Ruby, who's 9.
And your daughter and son-in-law, they're both teachers?
Yes, in the city of New York. My daughter teaches 4 blocks away where she lives, and my son-in-law teaches at the Fame High School, the New York High School of the Performing Arts. They love the city, use it to the fullest. I'm very close to them. In fact, they're arriving next Thursday. I've had the vaccine. They've had the vaccine. We're good here. And then I have my youngest Nick is in Indianapolis. He's also married to the lovely Erin, best daughter-in-law. And he has Tuck, who is 5, and Henry, who is 17 months. He's breaking my heart because I've only seen that child twice because I can't be near them. So I'm working on, Nick has had the vaccine. I'm looking to some underground way to get my daughter-in-law vaccinated.
One of the things that I know you like to do, and you mentioned it earlier, is you like to read. Is that an important part of your life still?
Big part of my life. There's nothing, I'm in the book club here. I was head of the book club for a while. As I said, I always have a book. Favorite book of this year, everyone, is Hamnet. Read it, very good. Yes, and I get the New York Times every day. Yes, reading is a big, big part of my life.
Listen, I want you to know something. This has been a wonderful time talking with you, reconnecting. I can't wait till we all get to see each other at the reunion.
And also I just want to thank you for doing this. I think it's a great idea. And I
Well,
can't wait to see everyone and learn a little bit more about other people.
well, I believe me, I feel the same way. Thank you so much, Trisha.
Thank you, Neil.